Hi guys and girls, I hope you're well. Hope you've had a good week so far. So first of all, apologies for the background behind me. Currently at work on nights, so this is the only time I've been able to actually get the time to record a video whilst I'm at work, peace and quiet. So yeah, I just wanted to make a video of some sort as to kind of speak about transfer deadline day. I know a lot of clubs made signings, we didn't. Also about Charlton on Saturday, about the performance and the result and where it leaves us for the upcoming weeks. So first of all, transfer deadline day, incredibly frustrating. I was hoping that we would get somebody in, as you're all aware, I'm sure we saw all the social media posts by Doug O'Kane at the Chronicle and Andy Giddins for Radio Sheffield and Leon Wobschall, who works for the Yorkshire Post, saying that we were trying to get a defender in on loan. I believe that loan was going to be Taylor Moore from Bristol City, centre defender, but he went to Blackpool instead. So, make up that of what you will. But just in general, I weren't impressed with the transfer deadline day. The signings that we brought in for me aren't the answer. We have to trust Struber to an extent because we want to back him, but also at the same time, two of the signings especially that have played are just... it's difficult to say because it's going to take a while for them to blend in, but then I don't think we needed players that's going to take 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month or so to develop and to settle into this league. And just in general, we didn't need that. We needed players here and now, ready for the here and now, to come in and hit the ground running for us. And for some reason we didn't approach them players. Now I've got my reasons why. I'm not going to go fully into it because I'll probably get bollocked for it and get loads of shit in the comments, but I believe that transfer deadline day really just summed it up for me as where we are as a football club at the minute. The only good thing is, I would say that we have kept our 4 main players for now. I assume that they will go in the summer, probably Woodrow and Brown will definitely go. That's the only good thing I can say that the board did. Yes, they brought players in, and people are saying, how unrealistic is it getting 4 players on transfer deadline day? What I'm saying is, we still needed 4 areas to cover. Yes, we were leaving it a bit short getting 4 areas covered in one day. As I said before, we should have got this sorted out a long time ago. In the transfer window, we left it up to the last minute to start approaching players. And then also afterwards saying they were going to go for a free agent. The club stated that they're going to go for a free agent. Well, it's Tuesday today. Why have they not got anybody in Monday morning first thing? They know that what happened on transfer deadline day on the Friday didn't go down well with the fans. If you were there at Charlton or if you watched the highlights on iFollow or just on social media, there were Conway out chants and board out chants throughout most of the game. Yes, we did get behind the lads. It was difficult to do so because we're behind for 60 minutes at 2-0 and we played for an hour awful. At this stage of the season, we bottled it again. Charlton wanted it more on the day, but really, I said it at Luton in Luke's vlog, you reap what you sow. You bring shit in, you get shit back, and I would say there's only really Chaplin and Ottawa for me. Halmer to an extent, but then again he were poor on Saturday. Gave the away ball too many times, and he seems to, there's some circumstances that I want to talk about in terms of formation and playing players in positions that they're not used to playing. It works for a while, but then it doesn't work for a while. But going back to the transfers, we're still a striker short for me. We're a striker short off the bench. We've got nobody that can come on and make an impact in the game. Schmidt, for me, again, what can he do in the space of 15-20 minutes? I know he doesn't get many game time, but for me, he's not good enough. Not good enough. We had Leon Clark available at Sheffield, and people are saying, well, look at the spreadsheet. Well, you know where I believe at the spreadsheet. Do you want to stay up or not? That is the answer. That is the questions you've got to be asking. Do we want to stay up or not? And the evidence was clear to see that we don't. We've got Cavari and Pineos, who were playing in the under-23s. Pineos played last night against Sheffield United. We got 90 minutes, so in that way I'm pleased for him, but in another way I'm also sad that they haven't left the club, because at the end of the day, there's been various reports going round about the way that they're being treated, that they found out that they've been put in the under-23s by the club website, that nobody's spoke to them vocally and told them, which is poor club management, not just Struber, but the club. You know, I'm sure Martin Devaney, who's the under-23s manager, will look after him, and I'm sure, you know, he'll give him best chance that he can get. But at the end of the day, you don't want two unsettled players in your under-23 squad. You want an harmonious youth setup, and then whoever's good enough at the end of the season, then we can incorporate him for next season, whatever league that we're in. They're the youth for tomorrow. Cavani and Pineos, for me, you could have used them at Charlton. I know, again, people are questioning Cavani's temperament and attitude at times, but he's a better footballer than Jordan Williams. Let me make that clear. In terms of both defensively on his day and also attacking, you get more out of him. He's more physical. Jordan Williams now, for me, has been found out. He had a couple of good games against Huddersfield. Maybe that was due to being against his former club, the club that released him when he was younger a couple of years back. Wanted to prove a point. Away from home, he seems all over the shop. They were targeting that left-hand side, e.g. Williams' right-back position, the whole of the first half on Saturday. And we've got Cavani that hasn't even travelled with the squad and playing with under-23s. And, you know, if we're not going to use them, why have we not just cancelled the contract? Got him off the wage bill? Same with Tiam. We were umming and ahhing about whether to let him to go to Arts or not, or Rotherham, or a loan, or a permanent. Get him off the wage bill if you don't want to play him. Let's get 3 lads in that you could have used that wage bill. I imagine that Tiam, Pineos and Cavani probably come to around 10 grand a week. Maybe a little bit more in terms of combined wages. Why have we not got them off the wage bill if we're not going to play them? I mean, for me personally, Tiam, Cavani and Pineos, no matter what I've said about Tiam, Cavani and Pineos before, especially Tiam and Cavani, with the work rate and their attitude, offer more to me than Jordan Williams does on the right-hand side with Cavani, and Ritz Meyer on the left-hand side at the minute with Tiam. I know Ritz Meyer were ill on Saturday, but that's not the point. We're alienating players, and we're sending McGeehan out on loan that's got better attributes than Beer and Ritz Meyer. We send him out on loan to Portsmouth, and we keep Ritz Meyer and Beer that, for me, are soft as shit, are not built for a relegation battle. We needed lads that are in the trenches. That's where we are at the minute. We're in the trenches. We're neck up in shit at the minute, and we've got lads that are playing like fairies at times. So transfer deadline day, obviously it's come and gone now. I hope we are preparing for the summer. They've got how many months now? 4 months, 4 or 5 months till the end of the season. Transfer deadline day, more or less. Well, transfer deadline, the transfer pre-season more or less starts straight away. More or less 2 weeks after the season's ended, more or less. So I'm sure that in that time they can actually get their hands out the fucking arses, get their hands out the pocket and actually do something with that. But I imagine that'll come from the Woodrow, Mowat and Brown sales. But I also think it's another PR exercise that if they didn't let Mowat or Woodrow and Brown go, if they let them go, as well as not buying anybody, that would have been the final straw for a lot of fans. There are a lot of straws being the final ones for the fans for some of them. On Saturday, for me, were a long time ago. I've been anti-ball for a long time. People know my reasons. I don't think they're here for the best benefits of the club. Actions keep showing that. Transfer deadline day is another thing. If you want to make us into a sustainable club while still developing young players, there's a way of doing it. This is not the way in doing it. Because the lads, when we sell Mo, Woodrow and Brown, maybe apart from Chaplin and Ottawa, who's got a massive sell-on value after these? If that's what they're bothered about. Not many for me. Not many players are good enough. So we'll go on to Charlton, by the way. So we'll go on to Charlton. Just pause it and then I'll start it again, guys. Right, I'm back. So Charlton, obviously disappointing result. Biggest game of the season. I know we keep saying it every week, but we had a chance to close the gap to 4 points with a home game, local derby against Wednesday this week. Started awfully. Charlton wanted it more in that first half. Johnny Williams ran the show. They had a midfielder, Sarr, was it? Big defender that he played in the midfield, actually. And he just dominated us physically. We had Thomas and Mowat, and we didn't stand a chance against him. He's 6'4", built like a brick shithouse, and he was dominating the game. Johnny Williams getting free kicks That led to the first goal. I don't know if it was a free kick or not. It was a very soft free kick. The referee bought it anyway. But reaction time. Taylor reacted first. He reacted quicker. He's a class player. I was talking about him the whole of the way down here, and they were like, oh, he only scores penalties. Scores in first 8 minutes. I wish I never said it because he scored in the first 10 minutes. And they deserve to be in the lead and they deserve to make it 2-0. I think after 1-0 up until they scored their second goal, Andre Green, good finish, but again, awful defending. We've let him have so much. I mean, he could have got paper out, read it, and then put it back and then decided to shoot. He's had that much time. But poor again, and we're going to 2-0, and I'm there with a pint of Foster's because I'm having to dry my sorrows at half time, thinking we've got to get an early goal at first 10 minutes. But realistically, I knew even if we got a goal back, we'd left ourselves too much to do. But we started playing with half an hour left, changed the formation. One thing that Struber did well on Saturday was realise the formation wasn't working. Ottawa, for me, had probably one of his worst games since he's been here at the club. And with Simawes came on, changed the game. And for me, he deserves a start. I can't understand why we keep playing players out of form. He keeps playing Mads Andersen all the time. You're never going to win a game when he's on the pitch. Him and Solbauer, soft as shit at the back. I mean, for God's sake, when you see that team sheet and you see them two in your team starting, you know that's when the whole recruitment structure is just completely broke. And it's a mess. It's a mess. Anyway, Saturday, half an hour left, we give ourselves a chance. Brown hits the bar, should have really done better. Anderson actually had a chance. He hit it. He cut inside, hit it. Phillips, their keeper, punched it straight out to Woodrow, and it's coming on like the bounce, so he's like hitting over the ball, and it's bounced and hit the bar. So we've hit the bar twice in the second half. We also hit the bar. We also hit the post in the first half. I think it was Alma. Anderson had an header saved. So Anderson, actually, in terms of going forward, he were better than defending on Saturday. More of a threat anyway. We've changed the formation. Should have got 2 goals for me. Woodrow should have scored that. People are saying it's a tough chance, but at the end of the day, where we are in the league, you've got to take them chances. Changes the game that. If we score that and then score another one, he gets 2 for the day. And then we had half chances towards the end as well. Momentum changes completely. Last 20 minutes, they were happy just to hold on for that second goal. Slow the game down, which is what they were definitely doing. But in the end, we gave ourselves too much to do. You give a team a 2-goal head start away from home in London. A team under Lee Bowyer that's fighting for their lives like us at the minute. Fighting for every point going. It's going to be hard work, and it was a tough one to take because you go all that way, you spend all that money, and you get a subpar performance for 60 minutes. You just weren't good enough. And big build up for Sheffield Wednesday this week. I personally don't know if I can get there because I might be working down in London for acting. That's what I normally do when I'm not working here. I act. So it's a well-paid job. So I've got to weigh up, or I've got to be confirmed whether I'm down there on the Friday and come back the Saturday, or I'm down for the full weekend. So fingers crossed I can be back for Saturday morning, but I doubt it. So I'm actually absolutely gutted. The only time, but look, Wednesday are going to be coming for a reaction themselves. Should have beat Millwall, really, where they want to be. They want to be in the playoffs, don't they? Bad result at Wigan, bad result at home to Blackburn, so they win for a bit of a rough patch, but they then go and beat Leeds 2-0 a few weeks back, so they're very either shit or shit. And I'm sure a lot of Wednesday fans, some of them that I know, admit that. They've got some good signings though, Wickham and Windass. I imagine that they'll be available on Saturday, and I'm really fearing if they get an early goal, it could be a slaughter. And that would really, psychologically, I think, do us if we lose heavily on Saturday. We've got to win. We've got to win. Point's not good enough no more. A point weren't good enough on Saturday. I mean, if we got a point on Saturday, let me just say before people saying you'd have got a point on Saturday being 2-0 down. If Woodrow or Brown, either one, score one of those, after being 2-0 down, coming back to 2-2, I'd have obviously, bit your arm off. But in terms of the start of the game, you've got to look to win that game. We've got to look to win that game, and I don't think we had the mentality that they really 100% believed or were convinced they were going to win that game. That's my opinion anyway. So what can we do now? So they've said they're going to go out in the free agent market. For me, they should have got one on Monday, 9 a.m. They could have looked over the weekend and said, right, the free agents, these are all players that were released by the clubs over the Friday or throughout the January transfer window. These are free agents that have been available for a while now. You're looking at Prodal, who were at Watford. You're looking at Jake Wright, who were recently at Sheffield United. You're looking at other players that are available. Tom Carroll, former Tottenham midfielder, being released by Swansea. He's a very good creative midfielder. I feel we need a more creativity behind the front too. So you got free agents there. This is what could have happened if we'd have let Cavari, Pinillos and Thiam go. If we'd have ended the contracts, we'd have got the wages off the books. I don't know how it works in terms of terminating a contract easy, but Cavari's out of contract at the end of the season. I think Pinillos is as well. I think Thiam is as well. I think they're all out of contract at the end of the season. If we're not going to play them, or Struber isn't considering them as part of his plans for the rest of the season, or for the near future, why are they still here? Why have we not just let them go? I know they had offers to leave. I think this is what Struber stated, that they've had offers to leave and they don't believe that they didn't want to go there. So maybe on part of the players, they should have just took the offer rather than, complaining about staying when you had a chance to go. So that's the only way I can defend the club on this matter. But if you really want to get players in, and you're not wanting to either go into the loan market, because I know that's hard because it's always a gamble, but you want free agents in. Tom Carroll's experienced at this level. Prodal's obviously Austrian, so I'm sure, we've got about 105 Austrians in the team at the minute, so I'm sure Prodal would be an option for Struber. He's been released by Watford. He's played at a higher level. He's experienced, very experienced. He won their Player of the Year only 2 years ago. It's been difficult for Prodal because they've had so many managers at Watford recently. So once you're in, you're in. But if you're out of the reckoning, then you're out of the reckoning, aren't you? Because Watford, because it's such an unstable coaching merry-go-round there, because the owner sacks them like nobody's business. It's difficult for players sometimes to get recognised and to settle in. So he's another option. I'm sure he'd want games till the end of the season. Jake Wright, I'm sure he's still living locally. Any Sheffield United fans gives an idea of what he's like. I know he were on loan at Bolton first half of the season in League One. Didn't do great, I don't think. But again, it's a difficult situation to go into a team that's been in administration and had a points deduction and bottom end of League One and losing every week with a lot of young lads in your side. It's difficult to yourself up for it. They should do, the professional footballers, at the end of the day. What I'm trying to say is it's difficult in that situation. Maybe coming into a team where we've got a chance to stay up, realistically, we still have. I think if it gets to March and we're still 6 points off, for me, we still got a chance. This is the thing. We're not helping ourselves at all. We keep making mistakes every week. We keep losing every week. Now, we lost last 4, including the cup. But we're not doing. We're not doing the right things. I know we've had a lot of away games recently, and obviously we've never really had a good away record in this league. But we need to start picking up points. And for me, a free agent could have been put in on Monday. Why have we not made some phone calls to these players' agents over the weekend and said, look, we're looking for free agents. We'll give you a deal to the end of the season, a short-term deal. If you keep us up, then we'll reassess it in the summer, see if it works for both parties, and if they keep us up, or if we stay up, you've got an option to stay. If we go down, then obviously I'm sure we'll have to look at it from a financial aspect and let you go. And thanks for helping us out. Why have we not done that? Or we should be doing this. It's Tuesday now. I hope by Saturday we get at least one free agent in. Again, if we haven't, it's bad management for me from the club, because they're saying they want free agents in. They know that the fans are pissed at what's going on in terms of the results. They know that they're pissed at what's going on in terms of the recruitment, or the lack of recruitment, and also the lack of investment, and the fact that we seem to just not put as money in at all. That the board are not putting any money in whatsoever from their own pocket. They're only relying on transfers in terms of sales and fees, what our players are generating. So they're not putting any of their own money in. So there's more negatives toward the club than positives at the minute. So I don't know why they've not done something to kind of say, well, we've made this mistake, but we realise that. So Monday we're going to bring somebody in that can gel with the players, that can get used to Struber's system up until Saturday. Somebody that wants to come in, that's experienced, that knows the league. Ideally, somebody that's British-based, somebody that's an easy, short-term answer. So that's my thoughts on what I think should be done over the next couple of weeks. I think it's imperative that we get someone in before Saturday, at least, just to get us a bit more bit more composure at the back. I mean, if we lose against Wednesday on Saturday, heavily as well, I do fear the worst. That could be the final straw psychologically for us as fans, and also in terms of if other teams pick up results and it goes against us. But in terms of what can we do till the end of the season to give us a fighting chance, I've got a few things. I think we need to get rid of this diamond formation. I think that's run its course. I think we look slow and pedestrian when we play with the diamond. I think when we play with a 4-4-2, we look a lot better in terms of, we look better actually having 3 centre-backs on Saturday when we're 2 wing-backs. So I think that's something that we should incorporate. Use the width. We're so narrow at times. We have men on the overlap, but we're so slow at distributing the ball. Distributing the ball quicker, that's up to the players. We're so slow at getting the ball. We take forever to realise where the options are. As a professional footballer, you should be there, getting the ball out your feet, pass. In that, knowing where the ball's going, keep the ball moving, keep the opposition defence on the run. Don't let them regroup, don't let them restructure. When we do that, Barnsley fans, we all know that when we play with purpose and pace and energy and intensity and keep the ball flowing, keep the ball moving like we did under Stendhal and also under Struber at times this season, we're hard to play against. But when we're pedestrian, when we look predictable at times, when we've taken forever to pick out as pass, when we're sideways, backwards, nobody taking responsibility with what to do with the ball, we're easy to play against. So change information, get rid of the diamond, play players in the proper position. For me, Woodrow should go up front, maybe test Brown on the wing. That's something I said on the preview for the Charlton game. I'd get Brown on the wing, he has a bit of pace. He is decent with his headers, getting up, winning headers. So from set pieces, in terms of winning the initial flick on, he'd be good. Woodrow's got 2 in 2 since he's come in. He's got back into the team and got back to scoring ways straight away. So he's somebody that we need to be getting up there. Get him up the end of the pitch. He does score the odd goal from long out, and I know his build-up play is quite good. But for me, he's a striker. He's a goal scorer. Get him up front for fuck's sake. I don't get it. I do not get it. That's just me. I just like playing players in the natural positions. You can just tell they look a lot more comfortable there. And then you could accommodate somebody in that position as a playmaker. That's when you could get a Carroll to go into where Woodrow is, just behind the front two. Somebody to manipulate the play, open up the gaps. A Stephen McPhail, Brian Howard type player. Somebody to make something happen from anything. I don't think Mowatt's capable of doing that. For me, he's more of a deeper player to win the tackles, dictate play from deeper, and get Almer in centre defence and get another centre back alongside him. For me, Solbauer, I'm sorry, but he's not good enough. He gives a lot of free kicks away in dangerous parts of the pitch. He loses too many headers. He backed out the first one for the first goal, and as far as I'm aware, he were at fault for 2 of the goals against Portsmouth in the cup. So he entered a great start, and let's give him credit. It's a lot of pressure to come into a different environment, a different country. The standard of football, I'm sure, will be more intense and more quicker in England than in Austria. But I think you got to do better. You got to do better in them situations. Them 2 goals that we gave away on Saturday, for instance, were very soft. So soft. We're not playing against fucking Charlton Madrid. We're playing against Charlton Athletic. So so that's why it was so frustrating. Again, we haven't played against a fantastic football team. We all credit to Charlton fans. You're not a great side. You just got lads that work hard, that want to work hard, and you've got Lyle Taylor up front, who was arguably top-end Championship Premier League player in a couple of years' time. So, they're a couple of options that we could use. For me, creative midfielder, and ideally a centre-back for now to come in. I'd have a striker. I'd have a right-back. We've got Cavari there, but it looks like that they're not going to be considered. So, worrying times. I'm fed up at the minute, really disillusioned. I said to Luke on the way down on the train, really worried about long-term future, as if we do go down. I know I've been a big critic of the board, but where do we go? We'll be selling all those players again. We'll be having to start over again. If we do go down to League One, it's not given that we'll come back up. People are underestimating that league. It took us 3 years first time around. It took Sheffield United 6, Leeds 10, I think, when they went down to League One. So it's not easy. Sheffield Wednesday, it took them ages when they went down. League One's not easy. It's not a great standard of football, but it's attritional. It's not easy. You need a certain type of character. Will Struber stay? Will he have a release clause in his contract? Will we have to be looking for another manager again? So off the pitch, that's, the fans, will they stay away? I mean, personally, I like I said on the preview for Thursday, I don't know what I'm going to do at the end of the season if we go down. I've got to make a choice, because I don't want to keep putting money into an ownership that don't... As far as I'm concerned, everybody's got their own opinions, so each to their own, do you know what I mean? But, I'm just disillusioned with it all. I don't know, I'll support the lads through thick and thin, and I'm disappointed with when they perform shit, but I'll still back them. I went to Charlton on Saturday. I went to support the lads. I didn't go just for my health. I went because I love the football club. The football club's the biggest thing for me, not the board. The board's, there's going to be somebody else here after these. It's not going to be the final board ever. People are scared, like, who's going to come in if these go? There'll be somebody else that'll come in. We've got a lot of things that's going good for us. We've got a great academy, great facilities. We've got a good youth system. We've proven that we can bring young lads through. It just needs tweaking. And that's why it's so avoidable. That's why I'm so, just disillusioned with it all. And I know there's a lot of fans that feel the same, that I speak to on Saturday, that I sit with in the ground on a Saturday at home and away, that I know personally, and they're just disillusioned with it all. They're just fed up. When I think the fact that they are billionaires on paper, I think, has been a negative thing in a way, because they've got all that money but they're not using it. I'd rather have somebody with fuck all and know that at least that every penny that they do have, they're going to put into the club, regardless of where they're from. It don't matter where they're from. I just want them to look after the club. I just want them to care. And I know it's a business at the end of the day. Football's changing again. I totally get that. It's more financial based now. But I don't want us to be a team that's just a business. When you're involved in it emotionally, when you've been supporting a club since you were 3 years old, and follow the club up and down the country in good and bad times, I think this is one of the lowest for me, because it was such a positive going back up under Stendhal, and I thought we're going to learn his lesson second time around. We got it wrong under Reckingbottom. We let all those players go, and then we went back down. I'm thinking, right, a second chance here now. New board, money behind them. Let's invest. Let's get lads on long-term contracts. We did that, but we got the wrong set of lads in, and we let all the players go that were part of our success leave the club for fuck all. Oh, for fuck's sake! I felt like banging my head against the wall, as you all know. I'm just fed up at the minute, so fingers crossed by the end of the season I can feel a lot better. But it's hard being a Barnsley fan at the minute. There's not a lot to be cheerful about. Fingers crossed we can get his heads up for Saturday and give a performance that's worthy. Play for the badge, play for the shirt. Show to the clubs around you and to yourselves why you deserve to be championship players. As footballers, that's what you surely should be. Prove yourselves why you deserve to play. Show to these fans that pay your wages that you deserve to play at this level. And show to Sheffield Wednesday, we're a big club at this level. I'm not going to deny it. No matter what my likeness to them is or not, it don't matter. They're a big club at this level. It's a good chance to go out against a big club, a local rival. I know Wednesday don't see us as a rival, but we see them as a rival. So that's the way it is. I'm going to be honest with you. Good opportunity for us to go out there. Local derby at home. We played shit last time round. Go out there. Show to them fans that are coming up the road from South Barnsley why we deserve to be in this league, and also to their own fans that's going to turn up. Massive week for me. Free agenting, 1 or 2 at least. I know it hasn't been announced yet, but for me, something needs to be done by the end of the week. And if not, the lads that play need to prove why they deserve to wear that shirt. Because I'd wear it for free. Do you know what I mean? So, alright guys, thanks for watching anyway. Hope you've enjoyed it. I might try and get onto the preview for the Sheffield Wednesday game, and hopefully I'll be there for Sheffield Wednesday at home, for the fan cams and just in general just to watch the game. And if I'm not, I'm sure you'll know what I think regardless, with the result come 3:30 or 2:50, whatever time it is, we've been an early kick-off on Saturday afternoon. So I'll see you later guys, have a good week, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later.